The city hummed, a low thrum of energy vibrating through the trendy Brooklyn bar. Laughter bounced off exposed brick walls. Glasses clinked a chaotic symphony, celebrating something. Our anniversary. Jessica had insisted on this scene, this vibrant den of noise and people. Frankly, I'd envisioned quiet, maybe Italian takeout at home. Romantic, right? But Jessica, she had memorable in mind, which, knowing her, translated to Jessica's way. And here we were, swallowed by our social circle, Jessica center stage. She was a force, my Jessica, all booming laughter, magnetic charm, pouring drinks like she owned the place. I watched her work the room, a smile plastered on my face, reminding myself she was the glue, the reason we had this life, this circle. She was captivating, everything I wasn't. "All right, everyone, drinks up." Jessica's voice cut through the din, a spotlight finding her. Heads turned, curious. "Toast time." My stomach flipped. Okay, anniversary toast. Sweet words, maybe a public declaration of love. Jessica was good at those moments, always knew the right thing, the crowd-pleasing thing. But tonight, something felt off. "First," she began, glass raised high, "let's all raise one to my incredible husband, Mark." Cheers erupted, glasses lifted in salute. Pride swelled, a familiar warmth. Then her voice shifted, a playful edge creeping in. "Now, there's something about Mark, a little secret not everyone here knows." A mischievous grin spread across her face. Uh-oh. "See, Mark has this talent. He can burn water. Seriously. Trying to cook? Forget about it." Laughter rippled through the room, a wave of amusement. My cheeks burned, but I forced a chuckle. Harmless, right? "And don't even get me started on the fashion," she continued, voice dripping with mock horror. "Socks and sandals. Last week. Socks and sandals. I mean, who does that?" The laughter exploded, louder this time, bordering on cruel. I managed a grin, praying for this to end. But Jessica wasn't finished, not even close. "And then, there's his career." Her eyes gleamed, a predatory glint I'd never seen directed at me. "My husband, the dreamer, always chasing the next big thing." She turned to me, a pointed smile. "Mark, honey, how's that side project coming? You know, the one you've been working on for 2 years now?" The laughter this time was different, softer, hesitant. Even the crowd sensed she'd crossed some invisible line. My stomach twisted. This wasn't teasing. This was evisceration. She was weaponizing my insecurities, turning them into a public spectacle. Okay. She finally relented, noticing the shift, the awkwardness. "Just kidding. I adore this man, quirks and all." She leaned in, pecked my cheek like a kiss could erase the sting, the humiliation. The crowd shifted, the moment passing, forgotten by everyone but me. I sat there, plastered smile frozen on my face, her words echoing, replaying in my head. Later, as the night dissolved, Jessica draped an arm around me as we walked home. the city lights blurring around us. "Don't be mad," she purred, voice saccharine sweet. "It was just a joke." "A joke," I repeated, my voice flat, hollow. "You're being too sensitive," she dismissed, brushing me off. Everyone thought it was hilarious. I wanted to explode, to scream about the public gutting she just performed, to tell her how exposed, how small she made me feel in front of our friends. But the words choked in my throat. It wasn't just the toast. It was the casual dismissal, the way my feelings were irrelevant, non-existent. That night, in the muted darkness of our bedroom, Jessica asleep beside me, her arm heavy across my chest. I stared at the ceiling, the city's distant sirens a mournful soundtrack. Just a bad joke, I told myself. A clumsy moment. But deep down, a cold knot of unease tightened in my gut. Something was deeply wrong. And that toast? It was just the prelude. The morning sun sliced through the blinds, casting stripes across the bedroom. Jessica was still asleep, a peaceful, oblivious slumber. My own sleep had been fractured, restless, haunted by the echo of laughter, the sting of her words. The toast. It replayed in my mind, a broken record of public humiliation. I tried to shake it off, to convince myself it was just Jessica, her brand of playful, edgy humor. But the laughter, her dismissive tone, the way she'd brushed aside my feelings, it gnawed at me, a persistent ache in my chest. Jessica, meanwhile, was radiating normalcy, humming show tunes, thumbs flying across her phone, peppering the air with casual, "Love you, babes," like nothing had happened, like the air wasn't thick with unspoken tension. The chasm between us felt wider, deeper, a growing abyss I couldn't ignore. "Morning," she chirped, finally awake, stretching like a cat. "Big day." "Morning," I mumbled, forcing a smile I didn't feel. That evening, she was out again. "Girls' night," she'd declared, grabbing her purse, a flash of lipstick, and disappearing into the city's vibrant night. Alone in our apartment, a strange quiet settled. I needed the space, the silence to think, to process. I busied myself with pointless tasks, emails, tidying, anything to distract from the churning in my stomach. But as the hours ticked by, a persistent unease grew. Jessica's phone. It had been buzzing non-stop lately. Before she left, during dinner, constantly vibrating with notifications, especially when she thought I wasn't looking. I pushed the thought away, paranoia creeping in, unwelcome and unsettling. Then, around 1 p.m., my phone rang. Jessica's number flashed on the screen. Confusion tightened my chest. Why was she calling me? Out with her friends, across town. "Hello?" I answered, expecting her voice, maybe a forgotten item, a plea for a ride. Silence, just static, the hum of a connection. Then a low, muffled voice, male. Not Jessica. "You're unbelievable, you know that?" The voice, playful, accusatory. "You think Mark suspects anything?" My blood turned to ice. Then Jessica's laugh, soft, breathy, unmistakable. "Relax," she said, her voice closer now. Clearer. He's clueless, too busy feeling sorry for himself to notice anything. I froze, phone glued to my ear, the room spinning, my mind scrambling, trying to catch up, to understand. The conversation continued, hushed tones, low murmurs, but clear enough to pierce the silence, to shatter my world. "I can't keep sneaking around like this, Jessica," the man said, a hint of impatience in his voice. "It's getting risky." "Don't be such a baby," she retorted, her voice light, dismissive. "We've been careful. Besides, you know it's worth it." My hand trembled, gripping the phone so tight my knuckles turned white. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, to rip the phone from my ear and hurl it across the room. But I was paralyzed, voiceless, suffocated by the revelation. The call ended abruptly, a click, then dead silence. I stared at my phone screen, the black mirror reflecting my own stunned face. Disbelief warred with a cold, dawning certainty. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat of anger, betrayal, humiliation. Waves of nausea washed over me. I sank onto the couch, the city noise fading into a dull hum, the conversation replaying, echoing in the sudden silence. Jessica. My Jessica. Unraveling, shattering into a stranger before my eyes. The dismissive words, the cruel toast, the buzzing phone, the secret smiles, the late nights. It all clicked into place. A horrifying, sickening mosaic of deception. She wasn't just mocking me. She was living a lie. But who was this man? Ethan. The name, like a brand, seared into my memory. How long had this been going on? And what else? What other lies were woven into the fabric of our life? Answers. I needed answers. But more than that, I needed a plan. Sleep was a phantom that night, a distant memory. Jessica came home late, a faint scent of perfume clinging to her clothes, a practiced smile plastered on her face. I feigned sleep, breathing slow, shallow, my body tense beneath the sheets. I heard her fumble in the dark, the rustle of clothes, the soft thud of her purse on the nightstand. Her phone buzzed, a silent vibration in the darkness. She silenced it quickly, a muffled sigh, then slipped into bed beside me, her body warm, alien. I lay there, rigid, staring into the darkness, the city lights painting faint shadows on the ceiling, my mind a whirlwind of questions, accusations, and a burning, icy anger. The next morning, I played the part, the dutiful, oblivious husband. Kissed her forehead as she left for work, a routine gesture, now laced with bitter irony. But the moment the door clicked shut behind her, the mask dropped. I sprang into action. Clueless? Jessica thought I was clueless? She was in for a rude awakening. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning. My search for the truth, the overheard conversation, just the tip of a poisoned iceberg, and I wouldn't stop digging until I unearthed every rotten lie she'd buried. Coffee sat untouched, growing cold in its mug. The kitchen table, usually the heart of our mornings, felt vast, empty, a battleground of unspoken accusations. The call, Ethan, Jessica's laugh. The words replayed, a loop of betrayal twisting in my gut. Anger simmered, a low, dangerous heat, threatening to erupt. But I needed control, precision. Emotion was a liability. Proof. I needed solid, undeniable proof. Laptop open, bank account accessed, shared account. A financial mirror of our life, or so I thought. Jessica rarely used cash. Credit card everything. A digital trail. If she was living a double life, the breadcrumbs had to be here. Initial scans, mundane. Groceries, gas, Amazon sprees. Normal. Too normal. Then, a flicker. A series of charges. The Skyline Lounge. A fancy rooftop bar downtown. Jessica. Never mentioned it. Yet frequent transactions. Always on nights she claimed girls' night. My pulse quickened. Scrolling further. Hotel charges. My breath hitched. The Oasis Boutique Hotel. Clicked on a transaction. Details. The Oasis Boutique Hotel. Romantic. Overpriced cocktails. Private suites. Who was she meeting? The question burned, a brand in my mind. Cloud account. Jessica, tech challenged. Phone backup, automatic. Photos, messages, everything uploaded. A digital diary waiting to be read. Found it. Jessica's iPhone backup. Opened the photo folder. Innocuous at first. Jessica in a sleek black dress, posing in a hotel bathroom mirror. Then, the caption, typed beneath the image. "Can't wait to see you tonight, handsome." My stomach lurched, scrolled, screenshots of text messages, her words, playful, flirty, seductive, double entendres. Baby. She called him baby. Photos of herself, lingerie, complaints about me. Mark's so boring these days. Feel like I'm married to a piece of furniture. White-hot rage, coursing through me, a tidal wave of fury. Infidelity. Understatement. This was calculated, cruel. Betrayal wasn't enough. She was mocking me, belittling me, to her lover, while I worked, provided, built a life for us. Then, videos, short, grainy clips. Jessica laughing, cuddling with a man. Ethan, face partially obscured but visible enough. Younger, slicked back hair, arrogant smirk. The kind of polished arrogance that made my skin crawl. Finished combing through the digital wreckage. Hands trembling. No doubt. No question. Jessica had been lying. For months. Maybe longer. Confront her? Throw the evidence in her face? Watch her crumble? No. Stopped myself. She'd humiliated me publicly. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of an easy out. Confrontation. On my terms. Backed up everything. Secure drive. Photos, texts, videos, bank statements, printed copies. The most damning pieces. Not just for me. Leverage. Jessica thought she could walk away unscathed. Think again. Evening. Played the role. Dutiful husband. Jessica home. Greeted her with a smile. How was your day? Practiced ease. Blissful ignorance. Work was crazy, she sighed, sinking onto the couch. Let's order takeout. Sure, I said, voice steady, betraying nothing. Chinese or Italian? Surprise me, she replied, already scrolling through her phone, oblivious. Watched her. Effortless lies, not just to me, to herself, acting like nothing was broken, like our life, our facade, was still intact. Night. Bed. Jessica asleep beside me. Phone buzzed. She didn't stir. Reached for it carefully. Heart pounding. Screen lit up. Message from Ethan. Miss you already. Same time next week? Slipped the phone back, jaw clenched. Ethan. Finally. A name to the face in the videos. Next few days. Detective mode. My own marriage. The case. Tracked her movements. Days she claimed friends. Late work. Followed her. Once. Distant. Rooftop bar. Skyline lounge. Bank statements confirmed. Jessica walked in. Ethan waiting at the door. Kiss. A possessive, intimate kiss. Blood boiled. Every lie. Every smile. Every interaction. Fuel. Determination. Jessica thought she was clever. Thought I was blind. Wrong. I saw everything, and I wouldn't let her get away with it. End of the week. Evidence complete. Timeline of lies. Irrefutable proof of affair, and a plan. Humiliation. She inflicted it on me. She would taste it herself. Game shifted. Control. Mine now. Feigned ignorance. A heavy cloak, suffocating but necessary. Every smile Jessica threw my way, every casual touch, a test of my resolve, my control. Suppress the rage, the urge to confront, to explode. Patience. Key to revenge. Act too soon. She'd slip away. Weave another lie, twist the narrative. No, she needed to feel the full weight of her actions, the crushing consequences of her betrayal. Next week, played the perfect husband. Attentive, anticipatory. Jessica wanted her latte in the morning. Waiting. New outfit for work event. Encouraged her to splurge, to shine. She suspected nothing. Relaxed even. My kindness, a balm to her guilt-ridden conscience. Little did she know I was meticulously laying the trap, constructing the stage for her public downfall. One evening, Jessica prepping for another girls' night. You know, I began, leaning against the kitchen counter, casual, nonchalant. We haven't had a big get-together with the gang in ages. How about we host something this weekend? Lipstick paused mid-air. Oh, sure. She hesitated, a flicker of unease in her eyes. Sounds fun. Hesitation, telling. Not expecting this. Not after the toast. The public evisceration. But I needed to throw her off balance. Social gathering? Perfect. Great. Feigned enthusiasm. I'll handle everything. You just show up, look stunning, as always. Relief washed over her face. All right, she agreed, clearly appeased. You've got yourself a deal. Rest of the week. A blur of frantic preparation. Calls, invitations, coordination. Friends eager to come. still riding the high of the last party, blissfully ignorant of the simmering tension, the impending explosion. Jessica, clueless. This wasn't just a party. This was a stage. And I? Director. Every detail scripted. Her betrayal, the main act. Party night. House buzzing. Laughter, chatter, clinking glasses. Friends milling. Cocktails in hand. Catching up, oblivious. Jessica. Perfect hostess. Floating through the room. Charming. Laughing. Magnetic. The devoted wife. A flawless performance. Watched her from across the room, marveling at the mask. If I didn't know the truth, I might have been fooled. But tonight, the mask would shatter. Night wore on, tapped fork against glass. Silence fell. Eyes turned to me. "Hey, everyone," I began, voice steady, calm. "Thanks for coming tonight. Great to see you all." Jessica beside me. Glass of wine. Bright smile. No clue. "Wanted to share something," I continued, casual tone. "A little toast, if you will." Laughter rippled. Someone mentioned Jessica's infamous toast weeks ago. She grinned, nudging me playfully. "Look who's learning from the master," she joked, smiled back, eyes cold. "Jessica, you're right," I said. "Inspired by you, tonight, raise a glass to honesty." Her smile faltered, recovered quickly. "Cheers to that." Glass raised. "Honesty," I repeated, "and the importance of trust in a marriage." Room quieter. Jessica shifted, uncomfortable, smile frozen. "See," I said, reaching for folder hidden under table. "Trust. Foundation of any relationship. Without it, everything crumbles." Opened folder, evidence, photos, texts, bank statements. "And sometimes," I continued, voice unwavering, "when trust is broken, confront the truth head on." Jessica's face paled. "Mark, what are you doing?" Hissed, barely audible. Ignored her. Held up first photo. Jessica, hotel mirror, provocative dress. Room gasped. "This," I said, "is what happens when someone forgets honesty." Friends exchanged shocked glances. Evidence unfolded. Text messages, receipts, videos. Nothing left to imagination. Every damning detail of her betrayal. "Mark, stop!" Jessica cried, voice cracking. Tears welled. Reached for my arm. Stepped back. "Why should I?" Voice cold. "You didn't stop. When you humiliated me, in front of these people. You didn't stop. When you lied, over and over." Silence. Room heavy. Weight of words. Jessica's tears flowed freely. No sympathy. This was her reckoning. Night ended. Jessica center of room. Makeup streaked. Tears. Friends averted gaze. Walked out. Left her in wreckage. Shame. She'd shamed me. Tonight, I reclaimed my dignity. Just the beginning of her downfall. Walked out of the house. Night air cool against my skin. Strange mix of emotions. Relief. Anger. Satisfaction. Chaotic storm swirling inside. Behind me. Jessica, facing the ruins of her carefully constructed life, driving to pre-booked hotel, replayed scene in my mind, gasps, horror on Jessica's face, deafening silence, everything I'd envisioned. Yet, not as sweet as expected, not the end, morning, texts flooded in, friends, Mark, so sorry, anything you need, can't believe Jessica, stay strong, talk anytime, overwhelming support, good, people saw truth, Jessica, opposite reaction, screenshots, evidence circulating, social circle, not intended to spread that far, but not stopping it either. People needed to know. Midday, call from Jessica. Mark, voice shaking. We need to talk. Hotel room, calm, collected. Talk about what? Everything, snapped, panic. You humiliated me in front of everyone, aired our private life, spectacle. You mean, I shot back, the way you humiliated me, weeks ago, punchline of your jokes, while you were sneaking around? That was different, protested. Just kidding. You took it too far. Too far. Bitter laugh. Jessica, only regret? Not doing this sooner. You made choices. Consequences now. Tried to argue. Spin. Done listening. Hung up. Block number. Next few days. Jessica's world unraveling. Word spread beyond our circle. Co-workers knew. Family knew. Social media followers knew. Carefully curated image. Tatters. Message from one of her friends. One who hadn't laughed at the toast. Mark saw signs. Didn't want to get involved. Sorry. Didn't say anything sooner. Didn't matter. Jessica fooled everyone, including me. Week later, Jessica office. Unannounced, exhausted, minimal makeup, wrinkled clothes, not confident, composed woman I married. Mark, please. Voice breaking. Mistake. Huge mistake. Don't know what I was thinking. Don't want to lose you. Stared at her, unmoved. You lost me. Moment you decided I wasn't good enough. Tears streamed. Meaningless now. Stupid, she continued. Selfish. Got caught up in something. Didn't even want it. Never about you, Mark. Just bored. Bored. Voice flat. Destroyed our marriage because you were bored. Reached for hand. Pulled away. Filed for divorce, I said. Lawyer. Hear from them. Mark, no, cried, desperate. Please, talk. Fix this. Whatever it takes. Nothing to fix, I said. You made sure of that. Jessica's desperation grew. Weeks followed. Calls, texts, unannounced visits. Stayed strong. Refused to give her time, energy. Divorce swift, brutal. Evidence. Court sided with me. Jessica walked away with nothing. I kept house, savings, dignity. Dust settled. Jessica, shadow of former self. Lover. Ethan vanished. Public exposure. Friends distanced. Family judged. Me. Free. Sold house. New city. Fresh start. Easy. No. Deserved better. Scars. Time to heal. Stronger now. Wiser. Betrayal. Gift. Disguise. Showed me truth. Reclaim life. Balcony. New apartment. Sunset over city. Realized. Best revenge. Not ruining her life. Moving on with mine. Months passed. Whirlwind of chaos subsided. Peaceful silence. Woke up without crushing weight of betrayal. Clarity. Control of life. Steered toward better. New city. Fresh start. Not glamorous, but mine. Cozy apartment. Downtown high-rise. Enough space for me. No reminders. No shadows. Jessica. Threw myself into work. Software project. Neglected for years. Purpose. More than side hustle. Freedom. Late nights. Not chore. Freedom. Friends from old city. Reached out. Checking in. Apologies. Laughing at Jessica's jokes. Should have said something. Texted one. Knew wrong. Didn't want to ruin vibe. Sorry, man. Didn't hold it against them. Not betrayers. Duped by Jessica's charm. Like me. Jessica. News trickled through mutual acquaintances. Downfall. Moved out of house. Cramped apartment. Outskirts. High-paying job gone. Scandal. Office image-obsessed executives. Ethan vanished. Public exposure. Blocked her everywhere. Alone. Scrambling. Rebuild life. No admiration. Praise. Pity? No. Not really. Made her bed. Lie in it. Emails. Message from Jessica. Weeks of silence. Debated deleting. Curiosity won. Subject. I'm sorry, Mark. Don't even know where to begin. Don't deserve forgiveness. Needed to tell you. Sorry. Everything. Lies. Betrayal. Humiliating you. Didn't deserve it. Good husband. Better than I gave credit. Threw away something beautiful. Selfish. Stupid. Now I have nothing. Can't stop thinking how much I hurt you. Hope someday you can forgive me. Even if we never speak again, just want you to know. Sorry. Reading words. Nothing. No anger, no satisfaction. No pity. Moved past her. Didn't respond. Archived email. Back to work. Life moved on. Project launched. Traction. Side hustle. Lucrative business. Financial freedom. Dreamed of. Success. Explored world outside work. Hiking club. Photography lessons. Cooking. Hobby. Jessica mocked. Not as bad as she claimed. Hiking trail. Edge of city. Met someone. Rachel. Different from Jessica. Night and day. Kind. Down to earth. Genuine. Talking during hike. Stories. Lives. City. Summit. Laughing. Old friends. Let me guess, she said, grinning. Fresh start? Something like that, I replied, smiling back. Rachel didn't pry, didn't cry. No need to explain. No pressure to pretend. No fear of judgment. Months later. Kitchen. Preparing dinner. Rachel and me marveled at how far I'd come. Man Jessica humiliated in bar. Gone. Stronger now. Reclaimed life. Happiness. Own terms. Scars? Still there. Faint. Reminders. Lessons learned. Rachel arrived. Warm smile. First time in years. Truly at peace. Best revenge. Not just moving on. Finding joy again. And I had.